Let me take a look at the Beseech build. So this was the build that we first trophied with Airship, like mono black control, back playing all of these. And I ended up not really liking the Living End and the Necro so much, and I was just kind of thinking we could main deck Culling Ritual and we could main deck Ashiok instead. It also opens up the sideboard a little bit. I don't think we want... I just didn't really like Living End very much at all. Togo, thanks for the raid. What about Airship in a Black Affinity deck? You could do that. There are definitely some nice Black Affinity cards. Maybe Airship with the Emerge Crabomination. Maybe that could be good. Maybe that could be good. But yeah, I feel like this is kind of an interesting angle too. I think I want to do this one next. I guess we could not play Slaughter Games and we could play not Undercity Informant, Battle Street Spy, and just cut the red out of the sideboard. I was thinking not spelled Balustrade. Will felt good from the Soul Trader shell. Well, what I liked about the Soul Trader version, and why I still think it's probably the best, is that you just have a turn 3 infinite combo, and the cards you play for that combo line up with the Airship plan really well, and then the Airship plan solos the fair games. And then the idea here is that we're gonna have some Silver Bullet tutor targets to solo the unfair games. Thankfully not too many spies. And so this build is like a lot more all-in, playing 4 Freebooter, 4 Shambling Gas with the towers, which I liked. And I think we're a lot better at playing Beseech than any of the other builds we've played. No, wrong spy. Then beyond that, I was a little bit worried about the Blink matchup. It seems like Blink has been less popular, which is also kind of good news for this. Like, there's been a lot less Teferis. Should include a Disruptor Flute. Why? For the mirror match? I haven't been liking Fulminator Mage very much. The Tron matchup felt like specifically really bad, but also not very popular. Oh, we needed to discard all monocolor cards. Shattered Assumptions. That's also a card I wanted to play. I don't think you want to main deck it, but it's like in theory a nice Beseech target to just take all the action out of their hands. Shatter Assumptions. 4 more slots. I already have a Damnation. Let's see, when we board in the Trespassers, like we're definitely like cutting it against Boros. It's like -6 discard spells and 1 Damnation, 3 Trespasser, 2 push. It should be pretty good. Soulstone to ramp into Beseech. You could play a Soulstone. It's not really that exciting. I think like Phyrexian Tower is like kind of giving you that acceleration. Yeah, I just don't really know where Shielded is good. We've definitely been thinking about it some. I just don't really know like where that card shines. I think I'm kind of down to play a second Culling Ritual. I think the second one probably makes it in. Decay could be good for Planeswalkers. Specifically, it's bad for Beseech. Yeah, Decay is kind of interesting. You also have Flare of Malice to kill Planeswalkers and like Bowmaster against Teferi. Yeah, this feels like we're kind of weak to Domain Zoo, and it kind of feels like we're weak to Storm. Oh, Mai, that's right. I wanted to play a Mai in the sideboard to Beseech 4 against Storm. Not that Storm is very popular. We have played against it a couple times this week and last week. But I was thinking to myself, there's not really any good black anti-Storm card, but Mai is a pretty good one. So the problem with the first Torp Orb against Blink is they have a lot of answers to it, and it's really weak against Flage. Yeah, we already have Flare of Malices for Zoo. We could play the 4th. Zoo's been really popular. I don't really hate playing the 4th Flare of Malice. Flare of Malice I also kind of like against Blink a lot, so maybe we'll bring it in there. Second Ashiok's probably not that necessary when we're main decking the first one. As a fan of the show... Oh, wait, is it May, not Mai? I honestly think it's Mai, but maybe I'm wrong. I know you hate it with Force Despair. I don't think I'm that interested in Force of Despair. I think I'm pretty happy with the sideboard, which is like good news, but we do need another card. We could play another. We could play an anti-reanimator card. We just have like maybe the first surgical on the side is nice. Do we need sack else besides tower? We have Flare of Malice. I don't know if there's room for Deadly Dispute. Maybe Deadly Dispute's better than I think it is too. I don't know how you get Deadly Disputes in the deck exactly, but could be actually pretty good. One of Grist is interesting. A little bit. I kind of hate Grist. If you're not playing Cauldron, it's okay. But Grist just isn't like this really, like, Grist is just no longer really good in the grindy matchups like it used to be. Back when the grindy matchups were like Control and is it Ragavan, you know? I think you copied it empty. Let's go double check. Did something wrong. Yeah, Grist is just so embarrassing against Boros. And it's not like it's not really particularly good in any matchup besides like blue-white control. Right? We always have this conversation. There's one other matchup, right? Overlord this turn. Maybe single Overlord if they counter. Yeah, you do want to hard cast the second Overlord pretty often. Yeah, so yeah, I think we save the second Overlord if they do, even if they counter this or not. This way we can just hardcast this Overlord if they play Teferi next turn. Interesting, no response there. Maybe they have a consign. We could also play the Shambling Gas so they can't Teferi minus on the freebooter. I think it's okay if they do, though. I need a modern list to play Deadly Dispute so bad. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience playing it in Modern, but honestly, if there was ever a Deadly Dispute deck, it is this one. Because they have a Felia. I guess that was another reason to play the Ghast. Have they been cutting Teferi from this deck? I feel like I keep playing against... I keep playing against Jessica, and I feel like they keep not having Teferi against me. Think about which land to play, maybe. Maybe think about Solitude, my freebooter. Maybe Prismatic Ending freebooter versus Prismatic Ending Treasures would definitely make more sense to Prismatic Ending here. Maybe discharge the freebooter. So they've got 3 cards in their hand. They've got a Felia and a Riddler in play. Come on, Airship, solo them. Oh, that's an interesting top deck. Link to the show. I believe you. I really... let's move on, please. I believe you. Sorry. Yeah, they are going to get to blink my token. Love playing a Curse Marauder in decks with Overlord is the way to recur the Edict effect. I like a Curse Marauder too. There's so many cards that would be good in the format and strategies if Boros wasn't as popular. Boros is picking up popularity again. Have I seen this humans list? I haven't seen it. I don't know. I feel like I spend so much time working on the Relic humans combo deck. Playing like a normal like beatdown humans deck seems so weird to me. It also seems really weird to play like beatdown humans when any amount of your human synergies are a lot weaker than any of the Boros synergies. But maybe May is just really good. I play blue-red wizards with flash flyers in the sideboard, so you basically can't lose versus blink. Flash flyers is pretty cool. So they have another Riddler, and they're thinking about blinking the Riddler versus blinking my Airship. And a Ragavan Dash. I feel like they're going to target the Riddler. That's my favorite Avatar card that hasn't hit a Modern Brew yet. Okay, well, I need to play this, so we trigger the Overlord. We go to 1 against the Ragavan, dead to a Flage. So we're going to have 4 this turn. They're going to blink 1. So I probably just need the Bowmaster to have double crew. I'm not sure. There's definitely a few cards that I haven't built a deck for yet. Swampy Foggy Vision Z is probably the next one on my list of cards to mess with. Yeah, Aang at the Crossroads is in like the Garuda style deck, something I've been thinking about doing too. I think my favorite card, just as from like a I enjoy Magic perspective, is the Grixis Azula, but seems tough. Seems tough for that one to actually be. Sorry, thinking. It seems tough for that one to be like the anyway better than Ruby Storm. Okay, so let's cut the Ashiok, cut the Culling Ritual, bring in the Flare. Might just be on 4 flares, 0 Fatal Push. Like they're gonna cut their Ragavans. I do want some Trespassers for Flage. We also have the Cling to Dust. Could be just 2. We also have the Dreams. Maybe just play 1 Trespasser. This is 4 good answers to Flage. Now 5. They also have Consign for Flage, so it's not as reliable. I think we'll show one of the 1 drops for the second Trespasser. Yeah, Felly is an issue for push, but we have the 4 flares. We're also on the play, so maybe push is better on the draw. Dragonfly Swarm. Don't remember that one. Did not make the PowerPoint. Oh, this card? I don't know. The lessons just kind of aren't that good, I guess, is my thoughts. It could be really big, but I feel like you'd usually play Crackling Drake instead because it draws a card. Damnation over Thoughtseize. Yeah, 1 Damnation might be good. I think Thoughtseize, you just want all 4, though. Gas over Freebooter to cut. Freebooter scries when you sack it. Just they're going to cut Ragavans. I don't think the -1 matters a lot. Maybe it's good enough without the lessons at all. I mean, possibly. I would be kind of surprised. Well, I got 2 Riddlers. I'll take a Solitude, I guess. I wish we had an arena style reveals where it just automatically maintained this stuff. I wonder how hard that would be to do. They're thinking about bolting my freebooter. I'm pretty interested in hard casting this Overlord. So I'm gonna wait a turn. If we get to flare anything, we get to hard cast it. Yeah, we were talking about Deadly Dispute. I don't know what you would cut for Deadly Dispute, but I am open to playing it. You could maybe cut the Dreams of Steel and Oil, since the Beseeches, now that you have Ashiok, you're like a little bit better against Titan. Probably like 2. But yeah, I'm definitely open to it. It doesn't sound like a bad include at all. The graveyard, the 3rd Riddler here. So presumably they're going to go Riddler Ephemerate. The rate of new sets requires all their resources to code and implement. They were barely getting Pioneer sets cobbled together twice a year, and there's only 4 sets a year. Pioneer sets coupled together? Or are you talking about Arena or Magic Online? So I'm talking about Magic Online getting the Arena system, the Arena revealed system. But I agree, the coding all the new cards is probably very tough over here too. I'm honestly like shocked by the how few bugs there are with new cards. It feels like it almost doesn't happen anymore. My opponent does not leave up Ephemerate. It's kind of frustrating. We are talking about Modern Arena. Well, that wasn't what I was talking about. The Modern on Arena conversation in general doesn't seem like it's really changed at all, though. Still seems like it'll probably not happen anytime soon, if it could ever happen. It's interesting they're playing around Flare so hard. Like, I would just always Ephemerate here almost, like, instead of doing nothing. They didn't even give themselves the option. It's very weird. They're holding a 1 minute counter. Yeah, maybe they have Serenade. Serenade on the Overlord would be really good. Yeah, I mean, just let these go to Warp. I don't really want to Edict it. Did have the Serenade. I guess that makes sense. Still think we're supposed to jam there. Why do you want to keep Overlord in hand? I wanted to hardcast it against their hand. It seemed good, knowing most of it. So I thought that I was going to be. I thought on turn 3 I was going to get to go Flare the Riddler when they went to go Riddler Ephemerate, because we knew they had Riddler and Ephemerate in their hand. I thought I could hardcast the Overlord turn 4. Then they didn't play into that, and then I felt at that point it was better to hold it for one more turn. It's honestly kind of surprising how often I get asked, like, why am I not impending the Overlord? This is a deck that wants to hardcast Overlord really often. So their hand is Bolt, Ephemerate, 2 mystery cards, and they have 2 Riddlers and Warp. They graveyard this consign. I'm going to attack them because putting them to a multiple 4 seems pretty good. And I'm going to Flare of Malice to get an Airship down. Then we'll make a treasure, and then the treasure can trigger the airships next turn. Maybe they would be worried about Beseech the Mirror, and they'd want to keep the Teferi in play. But I guess I don't know what they would be using to counter Flare of Malice that couldn't also counter Beseech the Mirror. So they consign the Ghast, so we will need something else to trigger the airships next turn. Their hand is Lightning Bolt, Ephemerate, Mystery card, and they have 2 Riddlers in Warp. So now they have 5 cards. One of them's an Arena of Glory, so they're holding up a Bolt. I'm at 20 life, they're at 8. Well, I guess I'm just going to hardcast this. Not triggering the Airship stinks. Oh yeah, my Urborg is letting Prismatic Ending hit Fleet now. It's kind of interesting. No crew swing. This is a 4/6. This is a 4/4. Quantum Riddler, not the Elvish Visionary that many have called it. So they play another Riddler from Warp. Now they've got 6 cards in their hand. They have Ephemerate and Bolt up. They attack for 4 because I think they know I've got the inevitability here. We really need a way to trigger the airships. We can try to cling to dust looking for a fetch land or a tower or a flare. Gonna give vigilance, I guess. I guess now we don't have a good attack. Amazing top deck. The consign on the treasure token ended up being super good this game, by the way. So I'll keep this on top. Although I'm gonna end up attacking with the Overlord instead of leaving it on top. And then we'll have 6 total airships. Assuming this resolves. And then finally my Phoenix King plan will be complete or whatever. This is a sideboard game. Maybe they could have a Wrath Disguise. Possibly it's right to hold an airship because of Wrath Disguise. Maybe it's just better to Cling to Dust this turn. Cling to Dust also plays around them surveilling Flage in the yard, although they've already used all their surveil lands. It's just nice to get like all the creatures still, make all the airships still creatures, even if they bolt the Overlord. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have attacked with it then. I think it's okay. Yeah, they can Flage and escape. Am I dead to Flage and escape? That's actually exactly lethal now that I guess it was already lethal. Although they just ephemerate the Riddler. Rotten Reunion instead of Cling. It has flashbacks. Okay, X up 1 card from a graveyard, make a zombie. Flashback for 2. I mean, the fact that Cling gains life and can continue to be played over the course of the turn forever and draws cards, I think makes it better. Yeah, I think Cling is better. Like, the first Cling is always so free to play in these decks. So... plays a mountain. No Flage. We draw Phyrexian Tower, which is interesting. Sack the treasure to trigger the airships. Draw a card. Or maybe it's just not better to draw a card. Maybe it's better to be able to gain life to not die to Flage. Although I'll have enough airships, I'm not dying to Flage. So if I just play one of these out, then I could start crewing, and I can also Cling to Dust if I really need to. IDK the run reunion seems like I could play better reads. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't hate the card. Cling is also just like, I think Cling is better. The Cade is a pretty bad keyword too. Fish with the 60 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Making a creature is good. I have become the Phoenix King again. Consign would have been kind of interesting here. Delay the inevitable for a turn. They're playing pretty slow. It doesn't really seem like they're... I mean, I guess they have a lot of options. Are they going to Solitude and Ephemerate? I would love for them to do that. I'm pretty sure Decayed can't block. Yeah, this just means they're not trying to Wrath Disguise me. Are we all not exhausted by Ephemerate at this point? I'm not quite there. I might get there at some point. Literally just Phoenix Fleet airship solos. It's like I especially with airship being printed, I am not exhausted by Ephemerate since it just seems to be so good against all this nonsense. Okay, I think on the draw, I'm more interested in Push for Ophelia. Trespasser may be a little worse on the draw too. I want Consign God more than anything. What's funny, when I play Tron or I play Eldrazi, I really just don't care about Consign that much. I just feel like it's just I just play a normal game of Magic, and that's just one of the answers. I don't know. Just me though. I feel like a lot of my like taste and preference when it comes to Magic and gameplay is a little weird. Like I love playing against Blue Belcher. Like I think playing against Blue Belcher is some of the most fun I ever have playing Modern. It's just I love playing against that deck with almost no matter what I'm playing. I know so many people hate it. Okay, so we're on the draw against a Multisig with a pretty strong hand. It would be really bad if they pending my freebooter. So if I attack and they block, I guess we'll just get to Bowmaster the Thalia. It's weird, yeah. I mean, Magic's a little weird in general, I guess. Friendship ended with Nethergoyf. Now greedy freebooter is my best friend. We built a cling to this too. Nice. So do I flare the Felia? I don't think so, because they could just have Riddler plus Ephemerate, right? So I think it's better to flare the Riddler. And then if we flare in response to Riddler, we can also Bowmaster the Felia, which is pretty fun. So if they target my treasure token, they target the freebooter. I guess we should flare because they can now consign to stop the freebooter from coming back, and we really need to be able to do this. I love the Flare of Malice in Phyrexian Tower feeling so good in a deck like this. Maybe just like this is like something like Airship is what this deck was missing. Let's keep that one on top. Maybe they have another Felia. Okay. Serenaded. Unraveled. Combo, Serenade. I need to play more with Serenade. Serenade seems really good. I think that the blue-white build we were playing earlier should have been more in on that, or should have had some, and maybe a bunch. Because like also like 3/3 wands just don't care about 2/2 flyer, 2/3 Ings don't really care. Ing can bounce it. I think we should be more in on it next time we play that kind of deck. Thinking about which land to play, I guess. I wonder what took him so long to play that Parlor. Like that's one of the better lands to play here. The graveyard a Prismatic Ending. We draw another Airship. We could take the turn off to kill Teferi with Bowmaster, but it's just almost never wrong. It's almost never right to not play Airship we find on these kind of spots. Especially when you could just get the second Airship before they can like wear Terror Token. It's just so annoying for them. And next turn we could attack with an Airship pretty comfortably. Why does Overlord specifically say you can't pick up Aang? Well, there's a lot of Avatar cards. Oh wait, they have a consign. Okay, interesting. A lot of cards with the Avatar type. I do think it was planned. Okay. Crack the fetch. Play Bowmaster. Ping them. I think we just crew twice here. Gain the life. Well, I don't need to gain life right now. Like the Flage is only representing 9 damage. And so I'm not dead to like an Ephemerate or anything. But I do think I might go I might go play an Overlord here. Like I might sack the Bowmaster to get back Bowmaster. I might also get another thing. Getting back Bowmaster is so good because it's just 2 more crews next turn. This is also going to be online at the end of my next turn, which would be nice. Maybe I do just want to gain the life. Play around double Ephemerate. Because next turn we can go crew with the Orc, sack the Orc, get another Orc attack for 12 in the air. Am I playing the showcase on Saturday? I don't know. Probably will play it. Probably will. Not committed, I guess. Should be able to, especially with Thursday off for Thanksgiving. Should be able to. I guess I can also kill the Orc, maybe. They do kill the Orc, which I'll with. So I'm down to 10. They've got 2 cards in their hand. So 1 card in their hand after they play the land. Crack the fetch. Probably want a Witch's Cottage something. Yeah, I feel like I'm happy enough to Witch's Cottage an Overlord or a Freebooter. Freebooter probably just mostly better because we just care about having creatures and things to sack. Seems like I should pretty easily have an attack here as well. Since the Overlord's coming online, we'll be able to block the Flage if we need to. We also, of course, just have the Phoenix King online too. Have I considered Infestation Sage? A lot of cards suggested today. I don't even know what the cards are, which I like. I will always read a card I don't know. When it dies, I mean, that's just a lot worse than making a treasure token. Much worse. So I'm probably not in there for me. So they're going to Solitude. They're going to play Ophelia. So they can stop my Phoenix Fleet invasion for a turn, but I can use three of the airships to crew 3 airships and triple block the Flage. And then I can also Cling to Dust the Flage before they can escape it. They have a new card in their hand they just top decked. They also have 3 minutes on their clock. Yeah, we've talked a lot about Accursed Marauder. We've played a lot of Accursed Marauder. Okay, so they're targeting me with the Flage. They're targeting Flage with the Felia. So they're saying their last card is an Ephemerate, but we beat Ephemerate with the Cling to Dust. Do we beat another Flage? We do beat another Flage because they can't escape. If they had 1 more mana, we wouldn't beat another Flage. It's important that you block this with everything. I guess, sorry, we'll exile the Flage. I'm going to keep this on the play. We're going to top deck for Phyrexian Tower. If it seems like we're going to chump block with the Ghast or just block in general, we'll probably play Cottage turn 2. How do you see these weird looking 4-drops to know they'll be good in the format? You could watch my YouTube video to know how my thought on Phoenix Fleet Airship in general, but being a full-time Modern brewer for like 5 years certainly helps. That's how I did it, and I recommend you do that as well. Ooh, Bloodpet's not a Modern legal card, is it, right? That card's cool though. I guess I'll play around Ragavan. So maybe Prowess? Fun to have this Culling Ritual in hand if it's Prowess. Might just die to like show off next turn though. Unironically, can you splash Cantor? I think Cantor's worse than this stuff. Just doesn't like it just doesn't get you to 4 mana. Alright, Shambling Ghast holding it down. When it's saying they don't have mutagenic growth, I guess. Yeah, I guess we need to keep this, don't we? No, don't be trapped by Cabal Therapist chatters. Cabal Therapist never does anything until turn 3. And then it usually doesn't get a card on turn 3. Unless you have 0 mana creatures in your deck, Cabal Therapist does not ever get to do anything until turn 3, which is something that makes me sick about the card. Upkeep for the airship trigger. It can sack itself. Okay, I actually didn't think it could sack itself. Although Cabal Therapy Suspend 1 is also not very exciting. It is something. Any love for Eddie as a Beseech target? I did kind of like Eddie. I don't think you would almost ever Beseech for it, but Eddie does seem kind of good just with the Phyrexian Tower stuff. I kind of forgot Eddie. No, nothing about Cabal Therapist, I guess. No attacks. Coward. What is Eddie? Oh, man. I don't know what the Omen Path version is called. We played Viper with Phoenix Fleet right before this. This is getting to do this game one is so cool. Yeah, do have 6 cards in their hand. Could be dead here. Not very likely. Do you like white? White isn't the worst card ever. It is very slow. It could be good with Airship. I kind of like that you can go turn 3, sack white, get a Crumbling Vestige, cast an Airship. I think that that's kind of a fun dynamic. Could lean more into that maybe. So I'm down to 11. I get to draw another card. I don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. I guess I should probably just cast Beseech. And get a Bowmaster. Yeah, I have been thinking there's maybe like a green-black version that plays Badgermole and plays Airship, since they kind of ramp into each other well, and maybe if you do that, then you also end up doing sorry, train of thought. So we just get a removal spell. No, it's better to get a creature to crew than removal spell, or something to crew twice, I think. Yeah, I like the White of the Reliquary overlaps pretty well with a lot of this stuff. In addition to being able to like, if you played a creature turn 1, or if you played like a Colony Guard in turn 1, you can like get the Vestige to turn 3 Airship and trigger. Is Phoenix Fleet Airship the only playable modern vehicle? I think so. You know, we used to brew some of the Greasefang and Parhelion. It was never super good. It's been a long time since I cast a Smuggler's Copter. The standard version is very much Badgermole, Airship, Obsessive Pursuit. Yeah, I don't think Pursuit's playable, but I could be wrong. That might be the kind of card I just need someone to like prove me wrong about. You know what I mean? Probably fine to just ping the show off. Although they only have one more preordain. Oh yeah, Licensed Hearse. That card's fine. Although kind of got pushed out by Ghost Vacuum. Don't need to block with more than one Airship here. Yeah, I would play Deadly Dispute in this deck. I am kind of interested in Deadly Dispute still. I do think that card probably could be in here. Besides Ammo Titan, what modern deck do you see often that's survived for a long time? I guess the main thing that comes to mind is Prowess right now. Control. You know, Titan and Prowess, all these decks, they look really different from how they used to. Tron is also still around. All right, I am become the Phoenix King again. Yeah, I think it does seem like Airship is burning Modern to the ground, and and a brand new format. Probably been a thing for a pretty long time. Yeah, long time. Yeah, since before the Modern Horizon sets. right? Since before, maybe it was after that it became a. Maybe it was pre MH2 for sure, but I think it was also pre MH1. Why not attack last turn? Attacking mostly. I do agree that the attack with the orc was pretty free, but it also mostly didn't matter. They could also lava dart to like kill the bowmaster, block the orc, which didn't seem great, but it doesn't seem like attacking mattered. Dart was MH1. Okay, so yeah, maybe since MH1, prowess has been a thing. Still been around a long time. I feel a channeler off the iteration. The current prowess deck is from Outlaws onward. Yeah, I mean, but prowess as an archetype has been around a lot longer since that. I would say there's not really a good example probably of a deck that's existed the entire like I don't think I can't think of a single deck besides Titan that's been like a top tier modern deck since it's been around besides Titan. Oh yeah, I remember Storming Entity. Was that was the post image 1 era too, right? You mean last turn attack with 2 airships? I mean, I think it's just fine to wait a turn. It doesn't seem like it matters a lot, but might also would have been fine. I probably do want the 4th flare. I don't know if I want Damnation. Seems like Culling Ritual is mostly better. Curve's already kind of high. I'm gonna cut all the Thoughtseizes because we have these. This is answers for the Steel Cutter, which is the main reason why you'd want Thoughtseize. We're gonna cut the Ashiok, which is in the main deck. And I guess we cut the Dreams also. Could maybe go down to an Overlord and still play a Dreams or a Thoughtseize. I think just having more things to stack to Rituals probably, or to Beseech is probably better. This is like an answer for Cellar Wreckage. Thoughtseize, I guess. Not that anybody plays that card. Remember Goryo's far back as 2013. That's true, although Goryo certainly had interrupted times of being playable. Like when Looting was banned and Simian Spirit Guide was banned, like there was certainly periods where no one played Goryos. Goryos got revived with MH2 and Ephemerate to some extent. I remember like we figured out the Goryos Ephemerate stuff like on stream and it was really hype, but I just don't think besides Titan any deck had like any uninterrupted period of being playable. Why the Trespasser's Life for Lava Darts? Probably both. It's just like a good card against prowess for the most part, I think. It's fine. No, I don't think you want to bring in Mai. We have a lot of non-creature spells, and like they're the aggro deck. I think this is going to hurt us more than it'll help us. Like Trespasser's not amazing against them, but it's just like a nice speed bump, good on the curve. Just generally like the card in the matchup. Tron variants have always been playable. That's true. Tron I think is also uninterrupted. I'm trying to think if there was ever a meta where Tron just wasn't viable. I think Tron has always been around a little bit. Affinity kind of Affinity like hard died for a long time. Graveyard's a bolt. They did mold a 5 on the play, which is tough. Yeah. Titan has also evolved too. All decks have evolved a lot. Titan is a very different deck than it used to be. Tron is all Cedric Phillips' fault. I guess I don't know the lore there. They plot a show off. You know, my opponent was very scared to attack into Shambling Gas last game, so I'm just going to leave it back. Yeah, blue-white control, that's true. It's kind of always existed. I remember, like, I don't know if y'all remember the, like, Celestial Colonnade Go memes, but there was, like, people would play blue-white control for a long time, and, like, there were just all these crazy, like one player would go Faithless Looting, Street Wraith, Hollow One, Hollow One, Hollow One, and then the other player would go tap Celestial Colonnade Go, and it was just such a funny common dynamic. Guess we just played Overlord. Ugh. We milled both of our culling rituals. That's bad. No, I ended up not boarding in the Damnation because the rituals were so much better, and I was worried about how many 4-drops I had. So we could kill the Channeler. I think I just need the treasure token a bit too bad. Yeah, Overlord misses a lot. It's mostly in the deck, honestly, because it sacks to Beseech, and it's good to hardcast. Impending Overlord's not nearly as strong in this deck. Yeah, the problem with playing the Boggart Trawler MDFC, yeah, they just hate attacking into this show off, huh? Is that we need a lot of fetches for Phoenix Fleet Airship. Alright, so we want to draw a land, of course. Yeah, I don't think we can afford to use the Treasure for the Trespasser. Let's just hold up the push. And then I guess I'm going to push... I guess I'll just push the Channeler main phase. I think people let the Channeler live and get a couple Surveils off too often. And those Surveils end up like being why you lost the game. Probably not playing. Was it Adewale? This card seems not there. Yeah, maybe we just miss our land drops and we go to game 3. They have another Channeler. 2 cards in their hand. They get rid of the Dart, which frees up their Bauble too. So now even casting a Airship isn't that good, and I milled both my Culling Ritual, so I can't even top deck the land to Beseech for Culling Ritual into Airship, which is a bit unlucky. So we're not in good shape. How far have I gotten Stormblade? I've honestly stagnated a lot on it. I'm still like listening to it. I've switched to audiobook for it because I really honestly found like the first 400 pages of Oathbringer to be very difficult to get through, which is not a good number. Okay, my opponent's proven hates to attack at the Shambling Gas, so we're safe now. I found the first like 400 pages very tough to get through. I'm probably like 700 or 800 in now, but it's tough to know with the audiobook exactly. But I've been reading other books too. But I would like to finish at least Oathbringer. Ideally, get caught up on the series. They're playing Stock Up, cool, and they graveyarded Stock Up, which is shocker. All right, let's go to game 3. Oathbringer is my favorite in the series. I mean, I've heard it gets better. It is getting better. I'm definitely liking it more. It's getting good, but it's just, you know, I don't know. It's hard for me to give it a glowing review when the first 400 pages were just really, really, really slow. But I'll finish it, and then I'll come crying and apologizing. Yeah, the first 400. Yeah, then that's after 400 pages, I just switched to the audiobook. I'll probably listen to some today. I usually listen when I go on hikes. Dreams on the play. I think that the discard spells are even like worse on the play. Probably you just want more action, and you don't want to mill both your Culling Rituals. Did I know that the audiobook narrators are married? I didn't know that, but the lady narrator is really, really good, and I think the male narrator is pretty flat. Maya's just against Storm. I feel like her deck's kind of particularly weak to Storm, so I wanted 1 card to 2 to 4 against Storm. I think Maya's the best thing. May. How often do you stop reading books I'm not enjoying? I don't know. Some amount of the time. I kind of try to force myself through, because I actually, this is not that I'm saying this is happening with Stormlight Archive, because I do like the series. I'll finish it. But I actually think it's good to power through books you're not enjoying as someone who's an aspiring writer like I am. I found it helpful to push through books I'm not enjoying so much. I think as I surveilled this in the yard, I'm just going to Overlord here. I find it helpful to read boring books and read bad books. Again, not calling Stormlight Archive bad. I like the series a lot, but just in general. Like we went to like half price books over the weekend, and I grabbed this like sci-fi book from the 80s, and I'm like 60 pages in or something, and it's not great, but I'm gonna try to read it like at least to like page 100 or so. Alright, they plot a show off, so we'll hold that push Bowmaster, I guess. Take this down. Are they culling the weak effects that are modern legal? That's like sack a creature, make mana. Really the only thing is Phyrexian Tower. Right, they flip over an Arid Mesa. What's the book? I literally don't know. I couldn't tell you. Oh, yeah, there's Infernal Plunge. That's right. It's been a while since I thought about Infernal Plunge. So my opponent has a show off plotted, so let's not just die to that. Although I guess if we got Airship, we would just be able to block. Seems like a fine turn still. The fact that Raven Eagle here could block might be relevant. Yeah, I keep forgetting to, or I keep not putting Raven Eagle in decks. It's just so much more fragile. But I don't know, maybe he's better than I think it is. Has anybody played Raven Eagle? Do y'all like that card? When you brew with Mox Amber, is 4 usually go or less? It depends. I'd say more often than not 4, but I've played 2, 3, 4. Occasionally I've played 1. Yeah, the answer, as always, it depends, unfortunately. So they're still not showing off here. They have 4 cards left in their hand. How do we feel about a block? I think let's not. Could maybe jump with the Bowmaster if we're like committed to Culling Ritual, but I might get Airship. A little bit worried about Spell Pierce too. If we're that worried about Spell Pierce, we could try Bowmastering the Channeler this turn and waiting on this if we draw a land. Which is what happened. And then we also can pay for Spell Pierce on the push. I mean, seems like probably a fine choice this turn. This is Brandon Sanderson. The book, no, I'm reading Oathbringer right now. This is the 4th Brandy book I've read. But I just picked up a random sci-fi book. And I don't know what it's called. I'm like 60 pages into it. And I'm reading some like writing books too. I have like a grammar textbook. I have like a style textbook. I finished a story by Robert McKee, and I finished just On Writing by Stephen King. And then I picked up a different one also from Half Price Books that I haven't started. Have I thought of dual streaming to YouTube? I've thought a little bit about it. People seem to be asking more about that lately, which I think is kind of interesting. The reason I don't is because my current YouTube channel is entirely edited VODs of the stream, and I think that it would be very. I don't really think I could co-stream to YouTube and keep those edited VODs up there. And at the moment, it seems like it makes more sense to keep those up there. They exile a Lava Dart, which is good here for sure. Are they going to cast the show off? Yeah, I wonder why Star City only streams on YouTube. I feel like for Star City, it would make sense for them to co-stream. No, I'm not into all of the cryptocurrency, like promoting gambling to kids and stuff that goes on in Kick. Just not really interested in that platform. I actually was curious too, though. Like, does anybody stream Magic on Kick? And one time I went on there just to see if anyone was streaming Magic. And there was like one person streaming to like 6 people or something. So it seems like there's also not really an audience for Magic on Kick. It'd be interesting if we die through the push here. It's definitely possible. Oh, we might die. Make an aspiring VODs channel, co-stream on that. I just don't really see the point, I guess. I think I stream here if you want to watch live streams here, if you want to watch edited VODs there on YouTube. I don't really feel like it's a particularly good idea. They'll do any spell. They're thinking, so they probably have something. Yeah, I agree. I think for a lot of people, it makes sense to stream on both because the way I've structured my content, my YouTube channel is edited VODs. It doesn't. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. Although polling y'all, people who are watching on Twitch, are probably not the best. All right, there it is. Any spell, and we're dead. So maybe play too hard around Spell Pierce. Definitely was a winnable game if we had cast the Beseech last turn, if they didn't have Spell Pierce, which didn't seem like they did. Like with YouTube, you want someone like you're competing with a lot of people for their attention, for people's attention, right? And so you need people to see your video, and that you need them to be like, that's exciting. I'll click on that today, you know? I agree, but isn't it like the live VODs? But it isn't like the live VODs are separate and don't show up on notifications when you sub on YouTube. That would make it okay. Yeah, I think it would be okay if it was a second channel, but I think it's still just not for the best. I'm afraid all the metrics disagree with you. More equals better according to the algorithm. Yeah, the algorithm I think is less important than like general audience sentiment too. For whatever that's worth. I don't know if that's worth much. So they grabbed a cauldron and they have a Yogg in the yard, which is pretty scary. Think we get the Bowmaster down. To me, it seems like free money if you dual stream. So that's the thing is like, I don't actually think it is. Because I think that's you just thinking of like, and I've had this thought too. It's like when you think it's just free money, it's like it starts to think of content as like, instead of like this relationship you have with your viewers where you try to do a good job and you try to make things higher quality and you try to make things interesting, instead of your stream being that, it's like you're just shitting more out there and the putting more out there for people to just consume as much as possible. That's better, you know. That's kind of the attitude. But for me, I like the way things are structured. I think the way I have it structured, it's more compelling. I don't know. It feels like I'm not just shitting as much out there as I possibly can, which is what I like. And what about the extra exposure to new people? I just don't feel like it is a lot of extra exposure to new people. I think that people being able to find the channel on YouTube and being like the way the YouTube channel is structured now, being able to filter through the decks and finding one that's interesting to them, watch that one, and then maybe tune in live to see more. I think that is better for finding new people than just throwing a bunch of VODs up, because I don't really think people are going to watch a bunch of VODs on YouTube. I think that I as far as people who would watch the live streams on YouTube, it seems to be people who only watch Magic live streams on YouTube instead of Twitch. That's who that audience would be for. And maybe that's not nobody, but it doesn't really seem like that's a big audience when it comes to Magic right now, you know? This isn't infinite, right? I think you're undervaluing the amount of people that engage on YouTube but don't engage with Twitch. Maybe I am. Maybe I totally am. I guess one thing is I don't really have much to compare to, because I don't know of anybody in the Magic sphere that streams on YouTube exclusively, or I don't even really know about anybody who streams on YouTube co-stream, but maybe some people do and I'm unaware of it. Okay, so this is Infinite Life, right? Good game too. You really want to bring in a surgical. I didn't even know Dingo co-streams on YouTube. So I could talk to him and see how it does for him. Caleb started recently. I didn't know that Kenji does. Yeah, I guess I should just kind of look and see like what it's like for them. But at the very least, this has been my attitude on like why I don't. I think I want second culling ritual. Let's keep in the Ashiok probably. Flare of Malice probably pretty bad. Good against exactly Yogg sometimes. Maybe we keep in like at least one or two. Am I okay going to 0 spies? I guess it's I think I could trim a Belmerk, but I guess it's probably too bad to cut more than that. Maybe the Ashiok isn't good. Yeah, we can cut some Thoughtseizes. Although honestly, Thoughtseize. Oh, it's never mind. Thoughtseizes is better. No, Dreams is better because of the Exile. Because this hits the Cauldron. One thing that's about watching some of these dual streaming is that the chat gets fragmented, which is a bit worse viewing experience. I think so too. Yeah. I'll put a little bit more thought into it. I think this has been a somewhat productive conversation. You could probably go down to 1 cling. I guess I'll mulligan this. Put back the second Beseech. Yeah, might just an anti-storm card. It's kind of interesting against Affinity, I guess. I do think we might play like a Rakdos burn deck with Mai at some point. Yeah, Spies on the side for Belcher. It's fun tech. I'm really happy to see Yawgmoth doing so well lately. I think that's really fun. For Maya 4 Eidolon, it could honestly be fine. It would be nice if you're playing a May deck. It would be nice if you're playing a May deck that was more creature focused too. Yeah, apparently Cub is really good for Yawgmoth, which isn't really something I would have guessed. It seemed fine, but like Yawgmoth was like it was like so far off my radar, like I wasn't even really thinking about it. But Yawgmoth has been doing well in tournaments lately. Cub has been really good in the deck. Pleasantly. The people that currently enjoy the YouTube videos would still enjoy them if you dual stream. Seems like dual stream is all upside, maybe 1% downside being the one angry viewer's pissed he sees the video. Maybe yeah, I might just be totally overthinking it. I have had this conversation too with Dino, who is like a similar size streamer to me, but streams is a Dark Souls streamer, not a Magic streamer. Do I want to go Bowmaster plus Cling? I guess we do that after they Cauldron the Grist. He's a Dark Souls streamer, not a Magic streamer, and he does do the dual streaming. And we've had this conversation, but he doesn't have what I have, which is the edited VODs. He doesn't have anything like this, and his YouTube numbers aren't like, it's like maybe a tenth of what he gets on Twitch, and so I feel like with me having the VODs, that was a big part of the reason why I decided not to, was his experience. But enough of this conversation. I think we've probably hit the point where we're talking in circles. Oh, nice. So I guess we save the Beseech for next turn. Culling Ritual into Airship feels really good. It's kind of hard to play this in Soul Trader, maybe. Maybe it's not. Maybe all your stuff just comes back. This is like the best Culling Ritual deck I've ever played, though. So they just have, I guess they have a Bowmaster. Not really sure what I'm getting. I boarded out the Ashiok. No, I didn't board out the Ashiok. Well, I don't know the Ashiok is good here, but it is in the deck. Could I Dreams of Steel and Oil here? Is that crazy? It's a little crazy. Maybe it's just crazy enough to work, because I just mostly don't want them to Yogg me next turn. If I don't get like a Bowmaster, I'm gonna have a harder time. You know what? I think I'm just gonna try not to get Yogged here. Yogged or Mogged. Nice. So they have 2 Bowmasters, they have a Grist, and they have an Endurance. Take the Yogg. And then I guess we'll exile Haywire Mites. If you get another ship next turn, you have 7. Well, if I don't next turn, I have 8, right? Yeah, it just doesn't seem very relevant. See, it seems like we chose the right card here, right? I think that ended up working out pretty good. Like, imagine if they just ripped the land for Yogg. We're pretty scared. So they rumble over Beseiju, Ballista, Fatal Push, and Spy Master's Vault. They might just give Beseiju cast Endurance. They grab the Vault. Was it Wilden to get a fetch to guarantee next trigger next turn? Not Wilden, I guess. But like most of our top decks let us Airship again. Getting Grist is a little sus into all the flyers here. Do I want to kill Bowmaster or something? I guess so. It seems like I'm just gonna I'm gonna have enough airships next turn. Doesn't seem like I need to keep the treasure around. I have become the Phoenix King again. Getting kind of bored of becoming the Phoenix King. If we get Yogg, does it matter? No, I think if they went Yogg, we were really likely to die before we killed them with airships. Like, they went Yogg that turn, they drew a bunch of cards into the combo. Alright, on the draw for game 3. I think I'm going to go down a flare, up a Thoughtseize on the draw, click submit. Yeah, Airship is really, really absurd. It's definitely one of my favorite cards this year. It's been a pretty good year overall for modern cards coming to the format. Like, I think Dragonstorm, Edge, and Avatar have been 3 of my favorite standard sets ever. Like they're all really high up there. I wasn't obviously Open Pass was awful, and then personally I didn't love Final Fantasy. Just too many legendary. All the modern cards were just legendary creatures, which I thought was boring. I really like that like Cub and Airship at least are like 2 non-legendary cards that we get to dive our teeth into. I guess we thought Thoughtseize turn 1, but overall very good. Good year, I think. I think things only went up, you know. Aether Drift sucked. Okay, I liked Aether Drift. I'm gonna say it. I liked Aether Drift, and I don't care. It's a good set. It's a good set. I think we don't need to get Overgrown Tomb because we've got the treasure tokens. Okay, so they Dredger's Insight. They hit Yogg Grist. Yikes. Soul Trader Beseech. Right now, I think Soul Trader is a little better. We're trying a different version of Beseech that has like main deck Culling Ritual, main deck Ashiok. But Soul Trader, the plan just fits so well. All right, they do take the Yogg. If we can kill the halfling, they can't Yogg me. Although, come on, you want to block? All right, well, we'll play it out here. What about the end as a Beseech target? I don't know. I feel like it's not even a really good line when you do it. Yeah, Tower would have been a nice top deck last turn. I like that my MH3 preview card for Phyrexian Tower is finally doing some stuff. All right, so now we get to Bowmaster our Ghast also. And then we get a 2/2 to block the halfling. I think. I guess they can kill one of these to deny the 2/2. I guess my Culling Ritual is also not going to be great because they're going to sack their stuff. It was just not a really fun draft format. Yeah, I haven't really done almost any limited. I'm going to play the Team Sealed event in Vegas though. Right on time. Would have been a game-winning top deck last turn. It's no longer last turn, though. I will still keep it, I think. All right, so I have 6 mana. When I Culling Ritual, my opponent is going to make it to where I only get 1 mana back from my Culling Ritual. Seems like I'm just going to go... Oh, sorry, it's because it's like this. Not really any different. I think I'm just going to Fatal Push Yawgmoth. Or I guess I'll get Damnation. I forgot I have Damnation in the deck. Okay. I now remember I have Damnation, and this turn should be pretty fine. Final Fantasy was best draft. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Again, I haven't done any draft. I'm gonna be doing some. I'm gonna be doing some more for whatever set comes out before Vegas to prep for that event for my teammates. So they're gonna have like 6 cards in their hand. The end could be a good tutor here. The situation. Remove the Yogs. Yeah, I kind of get the idea. Yawgmoth is a deck. I'm glad it's back. It's not a deck I am thinking a lot for my sideboard plans still. Maybe one day I'll start thinking more about it. Wait, they hit Cauldron and Ballista off the Rumble? Okay, so they just have Infinite Life again. Is Vegas Spotlight? I think it's a Spotlight series this year. Which honestly I feel like is better than it being like a Magic Con, because when I go to Vegas, it's kind of fun to, limit the amount of magicking and increase the more normal fun stuff too. Yeah, Yogg seems to be kind of back because of Cub. Although notably, they're playing. We didn't see a Cub this match, but maybe Yogg was a bit better positioned than we realized. But yeah, we are now getting Infinite Life with Young Wolf Ballista. Presumably, we'll make them do it. Maybe they're playing around Fatal Push. Infinite Life isn't really win if you make a boatload of airships. I guess not on Magic Online, but I tend to just respect Infinite Life. Because I like the idea of building a culture of gamers who respect Infinite Life. So I guess I'm gonna try to represent that I have Fatal Push here. Although they should just go for Infinite Life anyways. And they Cauldron Bowmaster instead. I don't really know why they did that, but it kind of feels like I mind tricked them a little bit. All right, cast an Airship. In theory, you can deck them. I guess that's true. I don't know if that's in practice something I want to play to for my own sanity. Getting Beseech here, tough. Oh wait, I didn't. Sorry, I thought I clicked the Surveil Land. All right, so they've got a Young Wolf. They've got a Delighted Halfling. They got one more card in their hand. It's just a land. Wow, we're in there. All right, well, I guess I Overlord so I can Beseech next turn. They do have another Surveil. They're thinking. They Graveyard the Bowmaster. Dredger's Insight, so now Cauldron is Infinite Life again. Then they Dredger's Insight into Cauldron again. I mean, it's not that unlikely. We'll make him get us, I guess. Yeah, I think we've kind of incepted that we have a Fatal Push in our hand here. So I'm still trying to make it look like this card is a Fatal Push, because last time we did this, they just didn't do anything. So we're trying to make that happen again. You can kill the wolf in response. Well, I don't actually have Fatal Push in my hand. What's the Infinite Life? If they Cauldron Ballista onto the Young Wolf, they can have the Young Wolf ping itself infinite times to gain Infinite Life with Dredger's Insight in play. I guess my Thoughtseize might be live now. feel like Vampire Hexmage fits nicely. We've played Hexmage with Overlord in the past. What did you cut to include it? I was thinking about playing Deadly Dispute. I also like hardcast Overlord so much. I don't really think I like Hexmage because he's just so easy to hardcast. Yeah, I guess my bluff was so good I even convinced the chat I had Fatal Push. And then I'm going to show my opponent I don't have Fatal Push by Thoughtseizing them. Take the Ballista. They just have an Overgrown Tomb. And a pretty stocked graveyard. There's 2 Cauldrons dealt with, or 3? 2. They play Verdant Catacombs instead of the Tomb. We didn't mill over a Cling or anything. They failed to find on their fetch. Say that 5 times fast. You could have used the tower to kill, sack to kill Ghast. You could have used the tower to sack to kill the wolf in response to Cauldron activation. Yeah, but then it just undies, and then they can do the loop, right? Am I missing something? That doesn't work, right? It just undies. All right, so they have 3 Yawgmoths left and 2 Cauldrons left. No, 2. One, there's a Yawg in exile. Well, I think we should surgical Cauldron because it's... Oh, they don't have Young Wolf in play anymore. We should surgical Yawg. They don't get the Ballista. It's under Cauldron. Yeah. They just exile. Yeah, that shouldn't work unless I'm completely mistaken. Which wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, no Court of Calling is pretty interesting. And they're also not playing they're also not playing... Oh, they have another Ballista they drew? Interesting. They're also not playing Cub, which is wild because that's kind of like what put Yogg back on the map, it seems. So they can play a 6/6 Ballista or 3/3 Ballista. And then my Overlord's going to come back. It's not a 4/4, right? Oh, it is a 4/4. Okay, that's really bad because this means they can Ballista down my Overlord, I guess. Although then I guess I could Shambling Ghast. I can also Witch's Cottage back an Overlord. Okay, I thought I had an Overlord in the yard, but maybe this one will die. Did I not have one? I thought I beseeched an Overlord away this game. Maybe that was last game. Oh, they're falling for it? It's funny. Maybe falling for it's not quite the right word. Goldfish, thanks for the raid. I assume that's Seth. Seth, you might appreciate this. We're to sack a Shambling Ghast to -1/-1 the Ballista for lethal. Been playing a lot of Phoenix Fleet Airship in Modern. It's been really good. Like shockingly good. Yeah, then now we get to Cottage back Overlord. We're at the end of like a long grindy game against Yogg. If you're not following MTG Goldfish, you should. Especially if you like Modern Brews. Guess I'll take another Ghast. So they have 2 unknowns in their hand. They have no Yawgmoths in the deck. They find another Dredger's Insight for either just a Haywire Mite. You can't get Insight off of Insight. So that means the next Airship we find will get checked by the Mite unless we like Bowmaster this first. Or I guess we could just Shambling Ghast the Haywire Mite if we draw Airship. I'm not sure how many Airships we have left. Do we have 2 or 3 left? No Bowmasters, all Ghasts. Let's see if they chump block. I'm kind of tempted to kill one of their creatures with... I could kill the Delighted Halfling by like sacking 2 gas. Seems so bad. I might deck my Still muted? Really? Test, 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 test. Okay, what's weird is I don't know if y'all can hear me now. When I tested earlier, I could see that I had audio. You kept this? I guess their plan is to tutor a Ugin's lab with map. Okay, what's weird was when I pulled the cord out, it's showing me on my side that I have audio, so that's a little scary. Don't know what's going on. Main deck Ashiok. Main deck Culling Ritual. Goodbye. Tron is like the worst matchup, really. How many break? We have 3 break the ice. Okay, land. Please, 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 please. Come on, deck. No! Come on. Why can't I Ashiok a map one time? They play a tower. Now I cast Ashiok. Although, honestly, Overlord might just be better to set up for Beseech. I think playing around top deck Scrying or another map's fine. I'm gonna target them, I guess. I know dumb. Can someone explain why Cup is so good? Makes a lot of mana and can also play around removal. Like it's one of the rare cards that makes a lot of mana and is kind of good against removal. Maybe that's a better way to say it. Goes crazy in multiples. Very good with Green Sun. Maybe I'll snipe all of their mines. We're also good to see more of the build, although it seems like they're pretty normal mono green, except they're playing card liberated. They draw K command? Oh, they did. So it has 2 7-mana planeswalkers, and then whenever they find off the K command, we do get to stop any land from casting the planeswalkers because we got the Bowmaster to kill a spawn. I kind of feel like they're not going to deny the extra power toughness on the Bowmaster here, but by Saga they do. No, never mind. Is shooting a spawn better? No, because it's like if you shoot a spawn with Bowmaster, you wait for the K command to resolve, so you're only getting 1 Bowmaster trigger instead of 2. You still get to shoot a spawn this way. All right, they play another power plant. They did put 2 cards on the bottom. What's the 4-mana card that exiles target land surgicals it? Crumble to Dust? Kind of like the thought. Deal more psychic damage. Although, probably better to mill ourselves at this point. Milled 4 ones we would have loved for them to draw. Star Sphere map. Sowing Soul was the OG one. I guess it's the same, just one gets consigned and one costs an extra red. Well, they drew another K command? Well, they can cast a big planeswalker now. Tron's probably decent at the moment. Can never beat Titan. Alright, they found Tron. Can they double big? I think they can double big spell. Yeah, they can. So Eugene first. How crazy is Rumble? Rumble, I think, is good in the archetype. It might be better than Beseech. I think that's kind of what you'd have to cut for it. I think Overlord's better because you hardcast it a lot. Need to stop the Ugin trigger. Oh, I think we're pretty dead, I guess. Maybe we should just back it on. Yeah, I think Rumble into Airship is pretty good. I think it's important that we figure out a shell for that. There's also some interesting stuff with White of the Reliquary where you can like tap, sack something, get a vestige, cast the Airship. I think that that's kind of interesting. All right, let's keep it moving. That's the 4th K command. Let's bring in the Breaking the Ice. I think I'm going to bring in May also. I think May is probably pretty good against them. Probably don't want to play 4 Flare of Malices, 2 or 3, I guess. Shatter Assumption's also getting in there. Forgot we boarded that in. Gonna cut the Ashiok. Don't actually think the card's good in the matchup. Cut the Dreams of Steel and Oil and the second Cling. Where are we getting with Wang Shitong? I was gonna do a bit of a recap at the end. I'll say that I really like the Demir deck we have with Juan. I think that build is good. Probably have to mulligan this. No Break the Ice. No Super Busted Start. I guess we get to keep this one. I like the Demir build we have a lot. I think that deck's good. And I might play it in a challenge on Friday. The blue-white builds have not been as good. I have still liked Aang, the blue-white Aang. But it's kind of tough to play Aang and Juan for some reason. Because they kind of require different stuff. Okay, I guess we take the Chromatic Sphere. It'd be really fun to draw one of our creatures that die and make a treasure so we could just shatter their entire hand. Oh, they did draw a land. Okay, but we get to discard the map and also the rest of their hand here. I guess only getting actually get 3 cards. No, 4 cards, 4 cards. It's called all multicolored cards. Pretty fun. So it has Forest and then whatever they draw for turn. Trying White with Nantuko, retreat to Coralhelm. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting angle. They do draw the land. Top decking this, we'll play the Overlord. Yeah, they're playing the old card, which is kind of interesting. They play or they tutor a PowerPoint. They've got 3 cards in their hand. They play a star. So I think that I really want to play one more league with Is It Wang Chitong before we play a challenge with it though, because I do think it's possible that's the best build. We just need to kind of rule it out, I guess. Or rule it in. It doesn't really matter. We're gonna shuffle. Maybe it was better to leave or sack the Overlord so that we could sack the treasure. Beseech for Break the Ice. I did kind of think about it, but it doesn't really seem like that's the move. It seems like we've disrupted them. Now we need to put pressure on them. My experience has been good with Blue, White, and Wang. I guess I'm curious how you built it, because I just don't really feel like my build's super good, I suppose. Maybe I should take an Ugin. Is there a deck list? There's always a deck list. You can see all the decks we've been playing in the Mox field. Alright, so now we can't crew the airships. Yeah, we don't get to surveil the Cling in the yard. It's a scry. They get a Ensnaring Bridge, which we can't beat unless we draw a Thoughtseize, I guess. Maybe we can get to a point where we like break the ice their lands a lot and they have 4 cards in their hand where we can attack. Maybe it's also lunchtime. Have we broken Badger Mole? I think we're getting pretty close to a solved Badger Mole build. Our Tyvar, the version, the Tyvar was a good addition. You can find that in the Mox field. I think that build is feeling really good. I feel like it's kind of challenge ready. Maybe I want to cut Bristly Bill or something, but I think I'm pretty happy with where the list is at the moment. I really want to play Badger Mole in more of a fair deck too. I think we've kind of solved we've gotten pretty close to solving like the all-in Badger Mole build. and it's been pretty good, but we also need to play it in some more fair shells. People have been playing it a lot in Yogg. I don't think that we're probably going to play it in Yogg since it seems like there's a lot of other people working on that. I would like to maybe try to find a different shell, although I don't really know what shell that would be, I guess. So they minus the card again. They grab a coding. Interesting. Maybe... Okay, I drew Break the Ice. The problem is, because they're turning off my treasure tokens, my ability to, like, overload Break the Ice is minor. So I think I just need to target this, and then hope that they just draw all 7 drops, and then eventually I can... Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, they're just gonna kill... They're gonna kill my Overlord before I can tower it away. Okay, they drew a lab to go -2 cards in hand. Decay would come in handy. Yeah. The target cottage, really? Yeah, Serenade, I think, is a card that I was definitely missing in my build. Especially, it seems so good with Juan and Aang just being flyers that kind of block it well. Path was good. Yeah, I guess if you want to send your whole list, I'd love to take a look. It also doesn't have to be today. Maybe I'm just too scared to play a lot of paths, but I just hate path being so bad on turn 1 or turn 2. It's getting closer and closer to lunchtime, I think. No, I can't kill Bridge. The Soul Trader build can just combo. My plan for Bridge is to break the ice enough that they get a bunch of cards stranded in their hand, but it doesn't seem like it's there. I do agree that Aang has been really good for me, and I want to keep playing with Aang. Just not playing any Field of Ruins. Yeah, maybe the fields were bad. Or maybe just I don't know if I would play 0, but it's possible I was just too in on the field stuff. It did make the mana really awkward. Okay, well, maybe we get to go for a Phoenix Fleet Airship record. And they just also can just draw like 4 7-drops in a row, or like 2 more in a row. Or I guess 3. Yeah, just 1, then 1, then 1. They have a K command as their last card. The standard combo of Aang and Doc Arlok. There's just no way. Yeah, I do agree that Serenade's good. So I do think the next time we play blue-white, we're going to be more in on Serenade. I have liked Aang a lot. This build looks pretty nice. I do think the next time we play Juan, it'll probably be back to the Izzet build, less in on Fire Magic, because Fire Magic wasn't very good. Possibly playing more of an energy package, because I think getting access to being a good Galvanic Discharge deck is pretty solid at the moment. And I want to figure out a fair Badgermole deck, maybe a deck that's playing Badgermole and Airship. That's on my to-do list. Does seem like Soul Trader Airship is the best build at the moment. Have a little bit more exploring to do. Still also have Mono Black K command, which is still also harder to build than I thought. I'm going to go raid our friend Demonic Tutors, who's playing Badgermole Yogg at 4 p.m. So if y'all want to see that deck in action, go take a look. I wonder if... Okay, maybe I'll play Badgermole Yogg if I think that Springheart Nantuko is good in it.